everyone, this is Sandy Sauvé, your processing supervisor. This is episode number 2 of the UBATracers weekly work at home news. If you are new to us and watching for the first time and you haven't got started with us, you can always head over to UBATracers.com. It is a free opportunity to join and get involved with us as we make money from home with one of the best online jobs that I have ever found. I've been involved with the company for since 2017, so almost 2 years now. In the late summer of 2017, I got started with this company and now have become the processing supervisor. And every single week we bring you updated new information for all of our processors out there. For those of you that are already processors and enjoying the work from home lifestyle, we got a lot of things to cover today and some really valuable information that will help you not only make more money, but save you more money as well as a UBA processor with UBATracers.com. So let's get into things. The first thing that I wanted to update you on, before I get too far, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and the video that you're watching right now, and check off the bell, because anytime I update a video, and next week, every Wednesday, I come at you with a new episode for the work from home newsletter, the video newsletter that you're watching right now, so that you'll be notified when new videos come out. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to cover is something that was mentioned on last week's video, is that the bonus for the processor submission forms is ongoing and in full swing. A lot of you guys are taking advantage of it. I was notified that there are dozens and dozens of people just since Friday, when we published the first episode, have already gotten their 10 submissions. For those of you that missed that, you want to make sure that you get in so starting July 26th, 2019 to September 1st, 2019, I don't know if they're going to extend this or not, but you definitely want to take advantage of it if you are a serious processor and making money working from home with us. Between July 26th and September 1st, processors submitting 10 or more of your processing submission account forms within a 7-day period. So from the time that you send it in, you got to get 10 in within a 7-day period. You'll receive a cash bonus of an extra $500 for that period of that week period. So I think we have 5 that we can submit on and take advantage of, like I have, and I know a lot of you guys are out there have already done that. For this week, you get an extra $500. So 5 weeks, $500. That's an extra $2,500 for us. Real easy money, because we already are here at UBATracers to make money and work from home anyway and make money online, right? So if you want that extra little bit of cash, it's just a no-brainer to get in your 10 forms every single week. This, don't forget, is in addition to our regular processing form commissions, and we get a 10% flat commission on the accounts that are over $250 or more from the databases at the UBATracers in your processing dashboard hub. Okay, so when you go through the government databases, that make sure that you're getting, so this is an above and beyond that. And I know we have a lot of new processors in the past couple weeks, a lot more than we've had before, and I think that's going to even continue to grow as we continue to put a dent in the unclaimed balance and unclaimed asset industry and help with the company that we're working with and through. Okay, so again, for those of you that want to take advantage of that, make sure that you get your claim forms in. That is step 2 of your 4-step process to making money as a UBA tracer, and that can be, if you're new, obviously go to UBATracers.com and sign up. Just put in your name and your email address, and then you'll enter the training hub and you get started right there. There's video tutorials and orientation, and you can start taking advantage of those bonuses as well if you're not already involved. Current processors that have only done 2 or 4, I guess we're getting, there's about 10 or 20% of the people out there that start off small, and that's fine. Okay, but you also might not been aware of this bonus. So for those of you that have, only doing 2, 3, 4, 5 a week, you might want to take advantage of getting your 10 in the 7-day periods from now till September 1st. Okay, lots of easy money to get out there. I know I've been communicating with a lot of you guys, and which is awesome. I like helping out new processors. When I first began, it was just friends and family. I referred to the company. They let me come in. Originally, I was one of the original processors with the company outside of the office as an independent contractor, just like we all are now. But back then, I was able to refer a few friends and family. So I don't hear from them anymore in regards to processing too much because they've already gone through the training. They've, did all their questions and answers, and I've helped them out and stuff like that. So it's always nice. I feel really good about helping a lot of you guys that have been communicating with me through email, um, and, uh, and helping some of you guys on the phone as well. So that is the bonus portion of this. Now, another thing that last week because they overhauled the members area, the training hub, they were still working on a couple areas, and I know they are still right now, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But one of the biggest things that they've added, which is pretty cool, is they've concluded, or I think they're almost done actually. Not quite, because I'm going to mention one more thing that they're uploading today or tomorrow, that I got their word on, was which I'll talk about in a second. But there's two portions of the leaderboards, just to make sure it's clear how it works, or what you're seeing on the screen when you go up there. It's a nice way. I guess a lot of people like to, strive for, how they compare to other processors and things like that. So that we've had a lot of people requesting when would that happen. Plus, we've had some of our current processors that want to see what the leader, where they stack up with everybody else. So that is up now, and you can always go over to UBATracers.com and just log in to your members center and your training hub, and you can see. So there's two sections right now currently, and the third one is being, like I said, completed today or tomorrow will be uploaded. But this is basically last month's top processor. So every month, apparently, they're going to update the section with the top 10, 20 people, I guess, of the top highest earners from last month. And these are earners that are simply just processing like you. They're only going through basic searches in the government databases of over 20 million accounts. Okay, there's lots to do, and $60 billion worth, and they're doing simple database or data entry, I guess we are, onto our processing forms and submitting them to get paid. These are the highest earners from the month of June. Okay, and they'll update that obviously within the first week or so, or the first few days, I guess, of this month coming up, because I guess we're on the last day of the month. I just realized we're on the 31st, so they'll put up July's pretty soon as well. So these are some of the top people that are earning good money with us here. I'm on there. And these are in no particular order as well in this area. So the last month's highest earners, if you see your name on there, congratulations. I know that I speak with Walter quite often, and some of our newer, like Vanetta, some of our newer processors who have brought people in on board as a premium, is the premium referral program. Vanetta is doing that. Cole's doing that, and I know Jerome's doing that in a big way, as well as Paul from up in Canada. Okay, so check those out, see if your name's up there, and if it's not, get on it. Okay, I know that there's a lot of new people coming on board, so those people and the leaderboards are going to change quite often. The next part of the leaderboard is where you can meet the top producers of the highest lifetime earnings. These are people that, as you see myself, because I've been here the longest, obviously I have a higher generally higher earnings than most people do, but we have a lot of people that are really coming on here in the last couple of months that are earning good money. So as you can see, if you're looking if this is a valuable way to make money online, it is. It's not just a spare time income for a lot of people. This is a full-time income for lots of people now. A lot of people earning six-figure earnings now over the last couple of years. And some of you guys are earning tens of thousands of dollars just in this last month, as there is a new section that they're just adding, and that you could that I'm proud of the most, because a lot of these people I referred to the program. This is the Rising Star section that will be added either, like I said, today or tomorrow. These are real people making real money. And they are our newest rising stars. So I want to kind of give a shout out to these folks, because I do communicate with them, some of them on a daily basis, but I notice that as they get going and stuff like that, I less hear from you. So don't be afraid to say hi. If your name's on the board here, in the comment section below the video would be fine, and that would be awesome. If you give this video a like and just give a shout out. So congratulations on the rising stars. Your name's going to be on that leaderboard real soon. Chris Miller from the United States. Katerina, I talk to pretty much every day now. She's from Croatia, which is really cool, because I don't know much about Croatia, but she seems like a really good a good hard worker, and also too her questions are just really keen, and she's serious about doing this. So congratulations, Katerina, in the earnings that you have coming to you. Jim Cagley as well, I communicate quite a bit with from the United States. Rocky Moore from up in Canada. I like his email, because my one of my friends, when I mentioned who's Rocky Balboa, I called you Rocky Balboa because your email says Rocky Balboa, and then I didn't even clue into me it's from those 70s and 80s movies, the Rocky Balboa, like Sylvester Stallone. So anyway, cool that you like to be called Rocky Balboa. It's probably your nickname up from where you're from, Rocky. Sean Griffin from the United States, another shout out. Luke Wagner, Kelly Bowman, Patricia Conklin, all from the United States as well. Sharon Sangster, who's become a personal friend of mine now, a virtual friend, I guess. I spoke to her a couple times on Skype just yesterday, and she's really excited about the referral program and referring some people that she knows up in Canada as well. Blake Knox from the United Kingdom. This is a global opportunity, folks. So this is, if you're watching this for the first time, this weekly newsletter, and you're from Asia, or if you're from anywhere around the world, we are processing unclaimed balances and assets from the United States and Canada, but it is not restricted as an independent contractor to be a processor along with us from anywhere in the world. Tammy Carlson, congratulations for hitting that rising star and the big check that you have coming to you from the USA. Bruno Giordano from Italy. Sorry if I butchered that last name. Kelly Rutschman, I think I said that right. Kelly, sorry. From the United States. Brian Penston from the United States. I believe he's in Oregon. And Jet June from Thailand. As you can see, we are represented right across the board, almost everywhere. And it'd be interesting to see some more folks from Europe come on board, but we do have a lot of processors now coming in from the United States, obviously, in Canada, as we grow and as people start to know more about it. And this YouTube channel is helping get the word out and to help us process even more. That kind of brings me to one thing that I want to talk about before I move on to the next section, which is advantages that you have that you may not be aware of. But we have a lot of people saying, will this get oversaturated? Will it be enough work for us? You got to remember that the unclaimed bank account industry, and if you haven't checked out the UBA news section in the Processors Training Hub, there's only just a touch of information about the UBA brokerage industry and the UBA asset industry. There's some videos in there that have news coverage. There's morning talk shows in there talking about it and covering how big this is. And it's really unknown because a lot of people just almost have, I just had a quick discussion the other day with a friend of mine, and she wasn't even aware really what I was doing, which was interesting. But she also had a hard time believing that people would leave, all that kind of money just sitting around and they don't even know they have it. Well, it's real, and it's over 60 billion with a B dollars worth, and billions of dollars being added to those databases every single year, and only a few billion get processed every single year. So there's over 20 million accounts that we go through in these databases. So a couple dozen or a few hundred processors that we have right now going through theirs, it's going to take dozens and dozens and dozens of years to be able to get through any of those. But don't forget that there's billions and millions of new accounts being added, billions of dollars and millions of new accounts being added every single year to these databases. And if you need to know more about this, and you want to understand if that's real or not, just go check out go to UBATracers.com, or go into your training hub and click on the UBA news just to give a brief overview. You could also just go to Google or YouTube and do a search too. You'll find all those news. Just punch in unclaimed money or unclaimed balances in the news or on news and things like that, and you'll get all kinds of written reports, articles, magazine articles, as well as lots of TV shows covering this now all the time. And that's good, because in conjunction with them and our company and the company we work with, we are helping people get more and more money back and making more people aware of how this, it's their money. It's not free money or anything. It's actually theirs, and they just misplaced it, or someone that they are related to has left it for them, and they're just unaware to where to find it so they can get it back. And that's part what we're doing now. Moving on to the next part of this week's helpful information, I want to cover every single week one really valuable thing that can help you out as a new, or a home-based entrepreneur. If you're someone that's new to making money in the world of home-based employment, a sole proprietor, independent contractor, that's what we are here as processors. There's so much more than just the ways to make money here as a processor, processing our processing forms and sending them in and earning those commissions to do that. But there is the big, easy. I don't know about you, and I make a very good living doing this, folks, but I also like to keep all the money that I have, or as much as I possibly can of it. I'm not a tax expert, but I employ a tax expert at the end of the year to do it. But to make sure that you're aware of the advantages outside of just getting paid your normal independent contractor checks and deposits, we get paid by PayPal, all of those things. There's other advantages too that we can be writing off that you might not even be aware of. And a lot of you guys are saying, well, don't you gotta make a whole bunch of money before you even get into that stuff? No, you need to be knowledgeable and to be able to keep more money that you're making. If you're doing processing unclaimed bank accounts as a side business or a side job or an extra income opportunity, or only part-time or anything like that, this so much applies to you, because if you or your spouse in the household already is paying taxes somewhere else, like they're employed somewhere else, or you actually could be getting money back immediately, because when you filled out your employment tax form, and you haven't talked about, and it asks you how many tax write-offs do you have, most of you probably put none. Right? So they take off the appropriate amount of tax every single check that you get paid. Well, you can go back now to your accounting department in the company that you work for, or your spouse's, and you can add that immediately right now, because you're an independent contractor working here, processing as a sole proprietor. You're your own boss. You're your own home business. No matter how much you look at it, get educated on this stuff, okay? Now, like I said, I'm not an expert. You always want to look to an expert to do that. But I did find someone who is an expert. It's J.W. Orr, and he's a home-based tax expert, and he's going to tell you a little bit more of how you could be benefiting from being a processor here and owning your own business like you do now. If you're watching this video and you're not a UBA processor, go to UBATracers.com. Once you sign up, instantly you are eligible for all the tax advantages of a home-based business. So I'm going to let J.W. War explain a little bit more, just a couple minutes, so that you get a big idea of how much money you're going to be saving by not only that you're going to be making as a processor, but how much you're going to be saving in the tax advantages just to run your home. And then I'll be back with one last thing before I let you all go for the week, and so that you can get back to your processing and enjoying your life and your lifestyle working from home. So here's J.W. War, and I'll be back with some final words that are really important for you to know as you head out into this week, as you continue to process.
Hi, this is J.W. War with American Note Warehouse. I want to go over the tax advantages of owning a home-based business. I'm going to do it in black and white, so it's going to be really simple. Meet George and Jane. These two people have a lot of things in common. Each of them earns $3,000 a month, and each has a $150,000 mortgage at 6% on their house. The key difference between the two is Jane set up a home-based business. She went to a meeting one night and saw the possibilities of owning her own business and making extra income. So Jane joined a home-based business. Now George was at the same meeting, but George just didn't get it. And so what George did, he didn't even see the advantages to owning a home-based business in his taxes. So he just kept doing what he's been doing, and he just keeps overpaying his income taxes every single month. Now, let's compare how much money they both bring home. Both make $3,000 a month. George pays $500 a month in income tax, but because Jane owns her own business and gets to write off all her business expenses, Jane actually doesn't have to pay income tax every month. George lives on $2,500 a month. Jane lives on $3,000 a month. George has been overpaying his taxes $200 every single month. He gets a $2,400 tax refund every year. He really loves getting that money. Him and his family go on vacation. Jane realized that you're lending money to the government and they're not paying you any interest. She also realized that she could use that money to pay off interest-bearing accounts. So she corrected her income tax by putting the right number of withholding allowances down, and so she does not overpay her taxes. Now, that means that George has $2,300 a month to live on, but Jane still has $3,000 a month to live on. Now, their mortgage payments are $900 a month. Available for paying down their mortgage, George has nothing extra, but Jane now has $700 a month extra because she's not overpaying her taxes and she's not paying any income tax because she has tax deductions. Jane took that $700 and paid off her mortgage. Both of them would be living on exactly the same amount of money every single month. So after 5 years, George still owes $140,000 on his home. Jane only owes $91,000 on hers, simply because she started a home-based business. Now, I'm not even counting the income she makes off her home-based business, just the tax advantage. 10 years and 7 months into this comparison, George still owes $124,000 on his house. Jane's home is now paid off. She's paid hers off completely, using the tax advantages to a home-based business. Jane invests that $1,600 a month that she was paying on her house payment at 9% in her retirement account. Coming from what she was paying on her mortgage and the money she was overpaying on her taxes, she takes the whole $1,600 a month and invested at 9% in her retirement account. So 20 years after we started checking on him, George still owes $81,000 on his mortgage. Jane now has $318,000 in her retirement program and a paid-for house. 30 years, George's house is finally paid off, but he has zero in his retirement account. George paid $174,000 in interest alone on that house. Jane not only has her house paid off early, she now has $1.3 million in her retirement program simply because she started a home-based business. Jane only paid $53,000 in interest. Home-based businesses. A home-based business has got to be the answer. Which would you prefer? Sign up for a home-based business today.
Now, see, that was better said than ever I could, right? I'm telling you. But you see how much money you could be saving just by joining for free. Okay, so go to UBATracers.com and join for free, and you can get all those tax benefits. I mean, think about this. I got one more thing to cover after I finish this last note here on home-based taxes that you could be taking advantage of right now. Everything that you're currently already doing right now, okay, most things you could be writing off, like your cell phone. I'm working on something that I'll release later, either today or in the next few days, that will give you a better breakdown and suggestions of how to keep track of all this stuff, because I don't like doing it either, folks. I don't like doing all this. I employ a tax expert to do it at the end of the year, which also is a write-off. Okay, so if you've always employed a tax expert to do things for you at the end of the year, an accountant, a bookkeeper, those kind of things at the end of the year anyway, you usually have to pay them, right? Whatever it costs you in your area, whatever you're paying them to do it, you just pay it because you'd rather them deal with it than yourself, right? Or you buy a software, you use Quicken or those kind of things, TurboTax and all that kind of stuff. All of those are write-offs. So if you spent $100 or $200 or more on a tax expert to save you money and do it all for you, that actually the cost you're paying that professional fee, that falls under professional fees, you can write that off. Okay, your cell phone, your vehicle expenses, your insurance, um, your travel. If you ever travel, do you want to buy it? You're going to buy a new computer. Household expenses, rent within your own property. So if you're renting right now, you have to set aside a section of the business for a home business. Do you use a laptop? Do you use a mobile device? Do you use the internet? Right now, what are you paying a month in internet? $25, $50, $100 or more? Okay, with your internet connection. You write all that off now because you have a business that you need to operate as a processor. Okay, how can you write off a vehicle? How can you write off lunches? How can you write off all that? I'm working on something that I'll release later, but and again, I'm not a tax expert, but all of those things, this comes from my tax expert, by the way, and the information that I'm gathering right now that I could be sharing with you, that I will be sharing with you in a future video, more details so that you get, because I want to take care of you guys and show you all the easy ropes. Let me do as a valuable resource to you. Hopefully I'm becoming, I'll save you all the time than doing all that stuff yourself, and I'll condense it into a finite piece or an article or a video, or a free ebook or something like that, that you guys can actually just have so that you're benefiting more, okay, from these home-based business tax benefits. And you could be writing all of this stuff off that you're already spending money on. You should be able to write off, according to tax experts, anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 in eligible legal tax write-offs that you're already spending in your home and around, that you live your life right now already on. Now, if you're going to get 10, 20, 30, 40% of that back, that's an extra $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or more back on your taxes every single year that you're already paying. So last year, you paid as much tax as you had to, okay? This year, because you're going to have a UBATracer.com business and work from home business as an independent contractor, you're going to be able to write off and have expenses towards whatever you, just like you did last year anyway, already right now. And that's all above and beyond what is already a great opportunity at UBATracers, right? As a processor, you can make thousands of dollars a month. Maybe you only want to make a couple $100 a week, but you can make this a full-time living. But you also want to save all the money that you're making currently in another outside job that you do somewhere else or here, okay? Now, hopefully, I've becoming a valuable resource to you. I would love to get feedback on you for future weekly newsletters, okay? And anything to do with UBA processing. So leave a comment or a question below. If you have a question on something that you want me to cover in a future episode of the weekly newsletter video, send it, just put it in the comment below. I'll probably answer it anyway down there, but I'll do it in a bigger form in next week's video. If you have a comment that you like, if you like this video, if you have any suggestions, if it's helpful to you, if you appreciate it, or anything like that, just like the video and comment below. It'll really help us out, and it'll help other processors out. There's so many of you guys coming on board right now, and we get so many different questions of wanting to hear from other people and see how things are going. So if you could, please leave a comment below, like this video, and if you have a question, most importantly, obviously, even if you're not a processor yet and you have a question prior to signing up, which is free, by the way, at UBATracers.com, just leave it below the video. I'll answer it, and I'll also take your suggestions for anything that you prefer me to cover or like me to cover, or that you appreciate me covering in these weekly update videos. Thanks again. My name is Sandy Sove. I am a processor, but I'm also now the processing supervisor at UBATracers.com. We'd love to have you on board with us and part of our team. And again, subscribe to the video and hit the bell for notifications when new videos become available. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.